I love it. I feel rejuvenated. I feel alive again. I'm feeling a lot of good things. Hey guys, what's up? It's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. Permanent smiles all around, okay? We finally have a release date, and you guys, it is right around the corner. Let me just compose myself for a minute here, okay? We're just gonna... If you guys have been following my channel for a while, you will know that I have been trying to keep you guys up to date with all of the Boys of Tommen drama, news, everything that's been going on, because it's been a lot, okay? This series, the author, the publishers, they've definitely taken us on a roller coaster of emotions, journeys, feelings, thoughts. We've all had our own opinions on it, but this morning they have finally announced that we are going to be getting our next book on May 27th. So that's just a little over 2 months from now. And also, we have a new title, Releasing 10. So Releasing 10 was like on the docket for planned books. I think it was supposed to be the second book for Huey and Lizzie, and it looks like things have swapped around. So by going into my deep dive, reading comments, looking at the posts on Instagram, the blurb, everything like that, the playlist, I think I can safely, confidently say it's going to have a Saving Six style of book, which I think is very necessary for these two characters. It is no secret that Lizzie and Huey are on the bottom of a lot of people's lists for their favorite characters. Like, there is a lot of Lizzie hate, and a lot of it is extremely unhealthy. Like, there are TikToks, there are Reddit pages. People flat out want Lizzie to unalive herself. And, you know, this is one of the things I love so much about this series is all of these characters are completely flawed. And Lizzie Young is not a perfect character, and she is actually my favorite female character in this series. So do with that information what you want, judge me, but Lizzie is a flawed character, and we need to see all of that. We need to see inside her head, and I think that Chloe deciding to give us their entire childhood backstory leading up to the current events, like she did with Joey and Aoife, I think that's the way to go. I think it's going to change a lot of people's opinions on Huey and Lizzie, and I just love when Chloe gives us all of this backstory. Like, a lot of people are like, do I really want to go and read about them as kids? With this series, yes, because everything that they've done leading up to the events in Taming 7 obviously are going to start in Releasing 10. So I'm really excited. I know a lot of people aren't excited to go back in time. I know some people weren't happy with Saving 6 because they didn't want to go back in time. I know at first I wasn't excited because when you finish Keeping 13, obviously it ends in a place where you want to find out what's going to happen next with Joey and Aoife and the Lynch kids living with Johnny's parents and everything. And so when you dive into book 3, that obviously doesn't happen. You go way back in time and you get their story and how they got to where they are. And I loved it. Saving 6 is a wonderful book, okay? It's not my favorite in the series, but it's incredible. Even reading about them in junior high, it was very touching and moving. We'll see everything that goes on with the Biggs family and the Gibson family. We learn in Taming 7, Gibbsy lost his father and his sister, and it was Huey's father that saved Gibbsy from the drowning. So there is a lot to talk about, obviously, a lot. I also think it's super important that we're getting this book in this context because of everything that we just read in this book. All right, we all know the drama that came out of this book. We all know the huge reveals that were dropped in this book that had to do with Lizzie's sister. And so now that we have a confirmation that we are going back in time, I am so happy because now we're not going to get any of this he said, she said, because the problem with Taming 7, the entire time was that Gibbsy didn't want to tell anybody what was happening. Everybody had Kiva Young's letter, but it wasn't like the real letter. He had the real letter that he wasn't sharing with people. So it was so much miscommunication. Gibbsy was the only one who knew the actual truth. And so now that we're going to be able to go back and get that story, obviously we're not going to get it in Gibbsy's POV, but I think because we're getting this book instead of Claiming 10, and because Chloe is only contracted for 6 books, I think if she goes indie after releasing 10, guys, I think Claiming 10 is going to be right around the corner. She's made it very, very clear in her Spotify and everything that she's working on like book 7 or 8 right now, and this is book 6. So we all know she can write fast. When she was writing indie, Joey's books were published within a month of each other. So I don't know. I don't want to have false hope because they've burned me on this series, but you know what? I love it. I feel rejuvenated. I feel alive again. I'm feeling a lot of good things. It does say that the book is 768 pages, and Taming 7 was 445 pages, and obviously I've ranted enough about this book. You can go check out all of those videos. I'll link them down below. But this book was way too short. There was way too much missing. You could totally tell, and this is Chloe's redemption. I think she even said it in one of her Spotifys when she announced that this book was done, that this is her redemption book. And so I have a lot of really high hopes for what's to come. Obviously, this last year has just been drama central, and the publishers choosing to be completely silent, it really pissed me off. It pissed off a lot of other people. And so I just, like I said in my last video, it's really not hard to just tell your readers the book is going to come at some point this year. But instead, they decided to have the Instagram manager, I don't know, troll everybody for the last year. I don't know. It's your account, it's your business. Do whatever you want with it. But I'm just saying, when you go from an author that was, publishing these books herself, cranking out, 600-700 page books very quickly, and we get them like back to back, and then she gets signed. We have to wait a whole year for the next book, and then we have to wait an entire year for any kind of announcement for the next one. I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts on traditional published. I always have. I really always gravitate more towards indie romances than I do traditionally published. I don't know. I just think when the authors are putting all of their heart and soul into every piece of the editing process, I don't know. I think you can kind of tell a difference there. The thing with Saving 6 is, before that book came out, we knew what the exact timeline of that story was going to be. We knew that it was going to end up until the week right before the events of Binding 13 start. We don't know anything about the timeline of releasing 10. But if I had to guess, based on it following the Saving 6 format, I'm going to guess it's going to follow them all throughout their primary years in school. We'll see junior high, we'll see the start of tommen, and then we're probably going to have the events of Binding, keeping 13, redeeming 6 in there. We'll probably have a little bit of Taming 7. I don't know. I feel like the stuff that happened in Taming 7 is going to be saved for Claiming 10. Because as we all know, redeeming 6 had all of Binding and keeping 13 in it. So trying to guess where this timeline is going to stop and start, I'm guessing. I'm really trying to figure that out. But if I had to guess, I personally would say it's going to cover from early childhood and then like the events of the first couple books. That would be my guess. And then I think Claiming 10 will start the brand new school year. I don't know. That's just my guess. Like I said, this is a longer book. It's just under 800 pages. And Saving 6 Saving Six is 489 pages. So that's already 300 extra pages. And so, like I said, trying to guess that timeline, I don't know. But I also know, I feel like there's a lot more to cover with Huey and Lizzie's past than there was Joey and Aoife. With Joey and Aoife, obviously, you get the entire Lynch backstory setup, and that is so extremely important to Joey's story. But you didn't really need a whole lot of backstory with Aoife. With Lizzie and Huey, that backstory is extremely important because of, like I said, the Biggs family, the Gibson family, what happened with Kiva Young, and then of course, you know, Huey has a girlfriend in the present day. So yeah, this book being just under 800 pages and it being a past book, ugh. It's gonna be long, but I'm so excited. I'm so here for it. I'm going to update my tandem guide, and if this book is entirely in the past, like we all think it is, I'm gonna have a lot of work ahead of me, but I'll get it done, I promise. Alrighty, well, I'm gonna just wrap this up here, but those are my thoughts, those are my guesses, those are my theories. I'm just so excited, you guys. I know you've been patient with me as you've followed along with me, seen all my stories on Instagram, on Threads. I've bitched a lot this year about this series. I've bitched a lot. I really have. And I think it's safe to say I will not be getting any kind of arc from Blooms for any kind of book in any near future. I've dug that grave. But anyways, don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.